Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of The Exchange, presented by WynnBet. I'm Nick Mangold. This is my good friend, Mark Sanchez, and we have a doozy to start off here, Mark. How we doing?
Oh, buddy, if I were any better, it'd be against the law. I'm so fired up that Rex is coming on the show.
Well, there you go, spoiling it.
Oops.
So, all right. So Rex Ryan will be our guest today. So we have that covered. Thank you, Mark. You're beautiful. Before we get to that, though, it's a lot of things have happened since we've last been together. What's new in your world?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, little man's in kindergarten.
Perfect.
We had a great start to the season, not just our podcast season, but I never got to play in London. I've only been to London on vacation or passing through, traveling through Europe. So to see an Arsenal match, I got to see the North London derby, Arsenal Tottenham.
Go Tottenham.
And it was
disappointing.
They lost, bro.
I know. 1-3. I know. And, all right. I don't want to talk about it.
Arsenal.
You shutty. That was probably by far the most broadcasting answer I've ever heard in my life, but congratulations. How was the UK?
Dude,
tell me about your time there.
I was shocked.
Were both games in Tottenham Stadium?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Tell me about it.
But the practice facilities they have for the teams, they're far outside the city. And, most teams come in, they leave Thursday night after practice. They arrive Friday. Well, the Saints stayed the whole week. And if you stay the whole week, I think the NFL pays for like your 3 days, the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But if you want to stay earlier, it's kind of on your own. And so the Saints stayed for an entire week to try and adjust. I don't know, teams talk about the sports science behind it. It just matters if you get the W. I don't know what makes more sense. To me personally, I'd love to be out there and experience some of, just a different culture and all the different melting pot of cultures that they have there. But it was incredible to see the fans' excitement, the way the Green Bay Packers traveled. I mean, it was technically their home game, right? So you give up a home game to get out there. The Green Bay Packers were the 32nd team, the final team to make it out there. And it was the first time in a London game that both teams had a winning record. So it was a showdown, and the fans showed out for it, man. It was fun.
Enough of the football talk. Jeez, give me the food recommendation. How did you enjoy the traditional English breakfast?
So I'm not a baked beans guy. I'm not huge. I like chili beans. I like pinto beans, black beans. Like I'm a big fan of the legume, but not baked beans in the morning.
Did you at least try it?
Yeah, no, I tried it because it was the right thing to do, but I just was like, that's not for me.
What was your favorite? What was your favorite dish being over there?
Fish and chips is always good. Bangers and mash.
Did you eat the mushy peas?
In the fish and chips?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, it comes with
Maybe I got the.
Well, typically it'll come with it's like a green bean mashed up or like peas.
Yeah.
Peas are mashed up, but they have like more of a vinegar consistency to them. They're delicious.
I'm like a meat and potatoes kind of guy, but I just went extra vinegar on the fish and chips.
Did you have a meat pie while you were there?
I didn't.
Oh, see? Oh my God. You need to bring me along. I'll take you to the right spots. That should be in your next rider. Can I be in your next rider? Like whenever you have to travel internationally, I have to go with you.
Yes. Also, you'll appreciate. I saw 3 Dave Matthews concerts in like 4 days.
Yeah, I do appreciate you texting me the night before, like, hey, just fly out to LA and come out and we'll go to the Dave concert. Like I have nothing else going on in my life.
A bunch of kids,
kids, getting
media work,
everything. Yeah, no, it was awesome. Although the video was nice. So that was good. I'm gonna do the same thing when they come to MSG.
But I'll be there.
Will you?
Probably.
No, you're not.
I'm like a roadie.
You are a roadie.
Or a groupie.
All right, enough of us being ridiculous. We need to get to this interview. We have Rex Ryan on with us. I think it's going to be amazing. He is by far, I think, one of my favorite head coaches just for what he brought to the team and that excitement. I know, Mark, I assume you feel the same way about Sexy Rexy. So before we waste any more time, let's get to it.
Let's bring in Coach Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
Coach, let's just forget Nick's even here for a second. I just want to hit you with the most important question. Pre-draft meeting, our dinner with Woody Johnson, me faking the motorcycle ride, Shoddy, Coach Cav, the whole crew that was there. First day, you met me, first impressions. Let's talk about the good stuff. Let's start with the great stuff.
Yeah. No, I was like, that's my guy. I mean, when you went in there like you were hopping on that motorcycle, I'm like, that's my dude right there. There is no doubt. And the workout was okay. But no, yeah, you had me as soon as you went to the motorcycle. But that was hilarious. I will say this. It's funny how, I will say it's the first quarterback thing I've ever gone to. So we were in desperate need of a quarterback. And I'm like, well, who are the guys? So here's the guys. There's this kid at Kansas State, yourself. Basically, that's what it was narrowed down to. And so I go to, the workout with this kid at Kansas State, and Freeman, I think was his name. And he had a decent workout. And, we're just, watching or whatever, but it's dragging on. And the reason it's dragging on, because there's like 3 receivers is what he had. When I went to see you work out, there was 25 guys. And I'm like, that pretty much tells you who you want as your quarterback. Somebody that's going to get guys that will show up and do a workout for him, where this other kid only had like 3 guys. And I was like, dude, to me, I thought you had a better workout. And then I saw that for real. And I was like, this is a guy that people, will follow, I thought. And then when you hopped on a motorcycle, I was like, done.
That was a done deal. Exclamation point. We did have a squad out there. We were kicking people out.
Oh, dude, it was unreal. I don't know. So to me, we made the right decision, and obviously we couldn't trade up for Stafford.
There he is. There he is. How much time did I say, Nick? How much time?
You had it at 45 seconds.
That's why I wore my camo. I knew I was going to catch strays from Coach.
And you know what's funny? Some people.
But you're on Get Up every day, dude, just crushing me out of nowhere.
But that's what we always do, right? We always do that.
Yeah, when it's like a private forum, but probably people don't understand that.
I know it is funny because they really don't, and I will say it's one of the funniest ones. Funny. But that even makes it better.
Yes, it is.
What I thought was a great one. We're down at No Kid. We were doing a Super Bowl, remember? And you were there. Tim Tebow was there.
Your boy.
EJ Manuel, Greg McElroy. So all these guys and all my ex-quarterbacks or whatever, I go, guys, just think.
Not all quarterbacks, but go ahead.
No, remember we had those quarterbacks. Yes. Oh, I got you. Bam. Poor Tebow. But anyway, so we have all these guys there, and I'm like, damn, just think, guys, if I had a better quarterback, I'd still be coaching. And all you guys at one time, they look, if we had a better coach, we'd still be playing. So, yeah, it was fun.
Now,
Nick, get him, Nick. I got to dress my wounds here.
Yeah, well, keeping with that theme. So, Coach, I was a big believer in ground and pound, and I love, when you brought that to us. So the big question that we all have is, A, where did that come from? But then B, was it more of a product because you saw the big uglies up front and myself, DeBrickshaw, Brandon Moore, Alan Faneca, Damian Woody, or was it because you knew you had this kid Sanchez coming in, like, shoot, well, we're not going to be able to throw the ball, so we have to run the ball.
I didn't hand the ball off in my pro day, Nick. He saw me throw. He knows I can throw.
You know what's funny? Literally, for us, it just was taking advantage of our personnel. And when you look, our offensive line could knock anybody off the ball. And, look, Mark's a rookie quarterback. And you look at how many rookies, play in that position, the success rate it's unbelievable. In fact, Mark's one of the most successful rookie quarterbacks maybe in the history of the sport. So we had an idea that, look, we want to be more balanced. It was something I think if you can run the football and play great defense, you'll have a chance to win every game. And that's kind of what we did. We knew we played great on defense, and we knew we could pound the football. And then it was as our team developed, we got better weapons around Mark. We were able to throw the ball. So I just think I think that's a great method to success, especially early in a young quarterback's development.
I mean, I know I loved it as an offensive lineman. I'd much rather go forward than backwards. So I had no issue with it. That's a big thing for me. So it was it was one of those things that when we think back to those times in 09 and 10, the imposing the will. I go back to San Diego in the playoff game. When it's 4th and 1 and we need that 1 yard, and I remember standing over there at the sideline. We're all talking about it and dialing it up, and we all knew where we were going. They knew where we were going, and we still got it done. So it was definitely a sense of pride, I think, for the team that we really bought into it.
Well, and it's that's part of it. When you come into a team, just be yourself and have a vision for the team and be truthful about it. And I knew from jump, when I watched the tape, I knew from jump that we could knock people off the ball, and I knew we could play defense. And I think that's what we did. And we had this young hotshot quarterback, but you don't need to throw it 40 times, with a rookie quarterback. That never made sense. So, and it's funny, Mark's best games, I think, during that rookie year were the playoff games. I think he was absolutely terrific. So, I think that's a pattern that coaches, when you come in, that's a pattern you really ought to look at.
Yeah, I agree. Any of your one specific memory that sticks out from 09 or 2010 that's the one that replays over your head maybe the most? I got a couple, but I'm curious what yours are.
Well, I think that one of the funniest ones was, remember we're playing Detroit, and the night before, I don't know if the fans know this or not, but we'll kind of get into it the night before the game. And I was like, my God, we're going to run the thing 40 freaking times. We are going to run it 40 times. Now, we didn't know that Detroit was going to have damn 9 guys up front, but we did. Running it. And finally, I look over, and I remember I bring the offensive line over, Nick, and remember when I go, guys, here's the deal. I think we have a better chance of winning the game if we just start throwing it all over the place. Just go no huddle and start throwing it. But I told you guys we were going to run it 40 times. So, what do you want to do? Because I'm not a guy that lies. I tell you what I believe to be the truth. And the O-line, they're all looking at each other. Like, Mark, I go, they're like, I knew you'd say let's get the hell out of it.
I was right. I was right near this exchange.
Like, are you serious? Let's try to win. I'm like, okay, then let's go ahead and we went no huddle. And then the great thing is they had no answer for us. And then remember, we get the game into overtime, and then you hit Tone on a pass that goes for 1,000,000 yards. Yeah. But we opened that second in the overtime, remember, by going no huddle. We never went back to whatever. Yeah. We just said, hell with it. Let's just go. But that's certainly one that stands out. And because the look on the O-line, all of them, Nick and D Wood, I remember are you serious? Let's go ahead and try to win the game. I'm like, okay. That was it. And then, there's so many of them, but when I look at when you mentioned that Charger deal the night before that game, remember we said, all right, we're way tougher than these dudes. In fact, it's going to come down to it. I want you guys to point where we're going to run the football, and we're just going to pound it in. They're going to win the game. And then on that 4th down, I look over there and I see Brandon Moore and D Wood are like, we're coming right here. We are coming right here. I'm like, no, don't say nothing. And sure as hell, we pounded it right over him. Thomas Jones really was more of a backup at that time. And I looked at him, man, I saw the look in his face. I knew he was going to get it. I go, our best versus their best. You get in there. And man, when he went in there, it was like, man, he punched, we punched a hole right through him. But those are some great memories that I have. And there's a million of them, as you guys know.
That's awesome. I mean, I think everybody in the stadium knew where that ball was going. They're like, he's going to turn around and hand it to Thomas Jones.
Hey, Mangold, I got to ask you this.
Yes.
What do you remember about that trip the most? Do anything stand out to you? Because there's something I remember about that trip with you.
San Diego?
Yep.
That's a good question. I'm trying to think. Other than food. I don't know. Now I'm kind of scared being put on the spot. The most I remember from that is the 4th down play. I don't know. Okay. What do you got for me?
Okay. The day before, we're practicing in a walkthrough.
Oh, yes, I do remember. That was that game.
Yep. Somebody, Rivas Island is nothing because Nick Mangold caught a pass for a touchdown against Darrell Rivas in a walkthrough.
In a pre-walkthrough scrimmage?
No, but Rivas would never let anybody catch the ball. Walkthrough, whatever, he'd knock you out or whatever. And remember, you're like, I caught one.
I was on fire. I think I had like 5 catches, 2 touchdowns. Rivas Island, nothing. And I was in flip-flops, just dominating.
I was playing left guard, I think, at the time, and I was getting it done, I think, protecting the passer. But, it's funny, but those are things, too, that I'll always remember and I miss about those things and getting out and having our guys. I wanted our guys loose, but I also wanted our guys to be confident knowing, hey, I don't care what the records, we're getting ready to beat this team's butt because I believed it, and we did.
Yeah. Do you think, and I know you're really enjoying where you are right now in the commentating world and everything and making fun of Sanchez as much as possible, but do you think you'd ever get back into coaching at any level, or is it something that, like, is that page turned on you?
No, I mean, I obviously would, but I'm not going to go back as a coordinator. I mean, to me, if I would want to be a head coach again. If that was the case, then I would do it. But if not, then I'm more than happy to do what I'm doing here. I haven't lost a game in 5 or 6 years. And I will say this, Nick, I don't know if you know or not, but the best coordinator I ever had, you're seeing like former players. You got Jim Leonard's now the head coach at Wisconsin. Kevin O'Connell's now the head coach at Minnesota with the Vikings. But I think the best offensive coordinator I ever had might have been Mark Sanchez. I mean, we went to Hawaii and dominated a team, and we got the ring and everything else to prove it. So, 2-time Hula Bowl champion. I don't know what to tell you,
Coach. I tried to give that game away.
That was fun as hell, and Sanchez really did a great job, though. Like all during the week, no kidding. Like literally. If that's something that you wanted to get into, I absolutely know he'd be a terrific coach. And don't kid yourself, I always try to get Mangold to come coach our offensive line too. We really do.
We couldn't even afford his appearance fee. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, no, that's true. It's a good point.
Wait a second. So 2 TV guys are now bashing me for having an appearance fee? Get out of here.
That's right. I say it every week from the booth. I'm like, hey boys, in the microphone to the whole crew. Another win. Undefeated, guys. Let's go.
Hey, that's it.
Pack up and go home.
Pack up and go home. I love it. That's great. So Rex, now along with obviously all your gigs at ESPN, rocking out, doing all again making fun of Sanchez as much as possible. Yeah. This recent endeavor of The Amazing Race, how in the world did you get hooked up on The Amazing Race?
Whew. Big mistake. But
tell me who your backup choice was. Partner.
I did call Sanchez. I'm like, come on, Mark, you want to go? We'll go kick some ass in this thing. Because I'm like, I'm not going to do anything, but I'll send my guy out. Go get him, Sanchez. Go get him. But yeah, he couldn't do it. But I had I had a buddy of mine that I played golf with. He was my partner. He was like he runs marathons. He's a former powerlifting champion. I'm like, we'll be okay. But man, none of us had a music background, and it just killed us. And the fact, we couldn't find, Black Beauty in a Field of White Mice because we were so lost all the dang time. And it was like, they don't show that in there, but yeah, it happened. We got lost.
What do you mean music background? Why do you say that without giving too much away? If you can't answer it, don't answer it.
No, I mean, because I had to do yodeling. I had to do yodeling in Austria, so they've already showed that show. We've already been eliminated. The second day we got eliminated.
Oh, crap.
But so I do this yodeling thing, dominate, of course. And then, of course, and you guys know me, I'm dyslexic. So I'm seeing a bunch of words I've never seen before. I'm like, oh, what the? There's no freaking chance. So I got to listen basically, without like seeing the words. That's great. Most people can read all that. Well, I can't. So it's like, well, holy, in different language, it's got to listen. I finally knocked it out. And then we're running out and now we got to do these bells. And it's like, me and my buddy had never played an instrument, and on my side, yeah, it's like these little kettlebells. And you got to do them it was brutal, dude. And on my side, there was only
they had that for a class in high school. This high school I went to, and all the guys like on our O-line and stuff were trying to do handbells. It was awesome.
So that was the end of it, man. And it was funny because I'm watching the show, and like when you start playing, your adrenaline gets going, and the frustration, like I'm just like, I am sweating my tail off, like. And finally, I jumped my buddy. I was like, "Come on, man! Like, what the hell?" But I only had like 4 bells on my side. He had like 6 on his. But I was just like, "Dude, come on! Let's get this stuff." But then we got eliminated. And the best part about being eliminated is you finally get to drink beer and all that. Because with the COVID, they lock you in your room the whole time. So you're either racing or you're in your room. So as soon as we lost, I'm like, oh hell, that's okay. I went out there, pounded like 6 or 7 beers. That was good.
That's good. Let's see. I guess your favorite. We were talking about coaches and coaching, and one of the best defensive coaches of all time, your dad. He came and talked to us multiple times, and I remember him breaking down the huddle of our entire practice and stuff, and I just thought, like, seeing how intense he was even at that age, right, later years of his life, but like breaking it down, like, we got to kill him on 3. And I was like, damn, man, I'm just trying to win the game. But okay, like, this dude's for real. But maybe one of your favorite memories of your pop, obviously RIP, he was an absolute legend.
Yeah, no, he's it was funny because everybody would say, well, you guys are similar, but man, like, is there a difference? And I'm like, big difference was I'm not near as tough as my dad. There's no doubt. And my dad was in the Korean War. He was a master sergeant in the Korean War at 18 years old. So I think I'd probably be a little different had I grown up that way too. But you think about a guy that was leading men into battle for their lives, at such a young age. That's why he was probably such a good leader, and maybe the way he always was. He wasn't going to take any stuff off anybody, and I think that kind of rubs off on me a little bit because I'm not going to back down from anybody, and I guess that's part of it. But just being around him, I remember I had the great opportunity to coach with my dad for a couple of years. And the first year they never said anything about nepotism because I was like, a linebacker coach or something, D-line coach. And we were second, I think, in the NFL in defense. And we led the league in takeaways. The next year we couldn't stop a nosebleed. And then everybody's like, oh, the nepotism. Well, what happened to because my twin brother's coaching on that staff as well. But the opportunity to be under him really catapulted my career. Because I saw the way he would attack teams and how multiple he was with his coverages and fronts and everything else. And so I basically, I put my own spin on things, but a lot of it, I learned from my dad. I probably, I learned way more from my dad than anybody else, not even close. And I was around some great coaches, but he was absolutely terrific, and it was a great opportunity. And one story I'll say about being with Dad. Remember, we opened the season against Dallas. Remember that?
Yeah.
And it was the 9/11.
September 11th. Yeah.
The 10-year anniversary. And I don't know if you guys felt it, but I felt a ton of pressure that week.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's like how important it was, to our area, the country, but specifically into our region. And man, I felt the responsibility that we got to win the game, and it wasn't starting off real well for us. But my dad was in the stands. My brother was coaching with Dallas. He was the D coordinator with Dallas. Right. And so you think, your dad's going to have the jersey down the middle, right? Dallas on one side, Jets on the other. Oh, hell no. He was all Jets. It was the best. No, dude, because that was his team. Remember, my dad started coaching. His first year in the NFL was actually the AFL days. In Super Bowl III was my dad's first year coaching, and he was with the Jets for 8 years. So that was always his team. But he hated Dallas. And he never even cared if my brother coached there or not. He was not going to. He's like, no, he wanted us to win that game, and he was happy as hell when we did.
I love that. That's really funny because they replayed that game. Do you remember that, Nick? During 2020, during COVID, when everything was locked down.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this text thread going with Nick and Rex and Tannenbaum and Ben Kotwika, Kevin O'Connell, like, I started getting responses like, yo, are you guys watching this game? And of course, everybody was home watching the damn game.
Yeah.
The first play of the game, all we talked about all week is DeMarcus Ware. This dude's face mask to face mask with me as soon as we blew the first whistle. I was like, holy, we're in for it, boys. And then
we had to make sure you were awake,
Okay, guys, I know who he is. He's 94. We're good now.
Hey, was that literally, I'm sitting back going, oh my God, are we going to miss D Wood?
Right. So, but here's the best part of the game. Me and Tony Romo, you would think we were on the take trying to lose that damn thing. I mean, it went back and forth so many times. I swear to God, I'm watching it with my soon-to-be fiance, and we're watching the game. And at one point, I go, "Did we even win this thing? Oh my God, I think we might have lost." And she goes, "You definitely lost. Look at this." And Joe McKnight blocks the punt. R.I.P. Joe McKnight. I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joe had the big block punt. And the funny thing is that whole game, we were putting Rivas one-on-one with they had that big Dez. Wideout was a great wideout they had. Was it Dez Bryant?
Yeah, it was Dez.
Yeah, Dez Bryant.
Remember him and Tony Romo had the miscommunication on the go stop route, and that's where Rivas turned around and made him pay.
Well, that's what they claim. What happened is we had been playing cover one the whole time. And so finally, we're like 2-man. So we played cover 5.
Oh, so he baseball
and now
and then
it gave Rivas a chance to play the back shoulder. And sure as hell, Romo throws right into it. And my brother's like, it's an easy read. I go, well, really? How come homeboy didn't read it? He threw right into that damn thing. So it was great. And we ended up winning, man, oh man. And remember what we would do? Mark, remember how every time we played my brother and we beat him, which is like 6 times or whatever, we would always get a game ball, and I'd have somebody, Laura Young, who's now coaching, by the way, with the Giants.
Giants, yeah, I just saw her.
She would take our picture, and I'd have the game ball, me and Sanchez be like, here you go, bro. We'd send it to my brother all the time. Remember Ryan Bowl on it or
That's
something.
Awesome. And then before the Browns game, I'd duck down behind him while he's standing straight up, and Rex would try and walk over and push him over on the ground and stuff in pregame. I was like, this is unbelievable. But
that's what Bill Belichick does.
Yeah, exactly. Nick has another question, but we're on the thread of coaching and old games and your dad and all that, but the family history, your dad, you, your brother, your son. What about Seth? I mean, he's with the Lions right now. Do you talk to him? Do you help him game plan? I know he's on the offensive side. Like, what's that all about?
Well, so Mark, you can answer that. Knowing he's on the offensive games, side. Hell no, I don't say a word, of course. But ground and pound. Just
unless they sign John Connor. If they sign John Connor, you're going to run.
Yeah,
run a counter.
But it is kind of funny. So he played at Clemson. They won a national championship, and Deshaun Watson was his teammate. I don't know if Seth had more to do with the championship or Deshaun, but either way, that was his last year, and he graduated in 4 years. So I really wonder, is this kid really my kid? I don't know. He's a damn offensive coach. He graduates in 4 years, probably in. But anyway, he's got 1 year to play, and they're saying he may start or be the fifth receiver. And he's like, Dad, they got better players than me there. Like Seth never, he's like, no, they got this kid, T. Higgins, they got whatever. So either way, he's like, I'm going to take this coaching opportunity. Anthony Lynn gets a job with the Chargers, and he goes, I'm going to be an intern, and I'm just going to, I went to Clemson to play football so I could coach. So either way, he takes his coaching opportunity. They hire him immediately as an assistant, on a staff quality control guy. And then, like, his third year there, they make him the receiver coach at 23 or 4 years old or whatever. And now he's the assistant receiver coach with the Lions. At 28 years old, he's been coaching the NFL for 6 years. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. It took me, I think, about 8 years before I ever got that opportunity to coach in the NFL. But he's way ahead of me right now. And hopefully one day he'll be a third-generation coach with the Jets. That would be awesome.
That's cool.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
So, Coach, we've been doing this for this is now the second season of our podcast here, The Exchange. And, it's always interesting trying to find guests and who do we want to talk to and everything. Word on the street is you're pretty buddy with Adam Sandler. I mean, you were in a movie with him. Any chance you could help us there? Bring in Adam
on the show, Coach.
Yeah, what I'm saying. I hope so, but I think he lost my number after he saw my performance on his show. I don't think he's answered my calls. But what's funny on that, Nick? We had, I had one of my real good buddies was Mike Pettin, and Mike Pettin was one of our coaches, great coach, but we would bust each other's chops all the time. And so I get a call, hey, this is Adam Sandler. I'm like, yeah, okay, quick. Like, Patton, stop. He goes, no, this is Adam Sandler, I swear to God. And so it was like, he's asking me if I want to be in a movie. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, it was fun as hell to do. And I remember I wasn't, typical coach. Like, I was going to have my lines down. You know what I mean? So Laura Young was with me. We're going over those lines all the time. Most people preparing for the draft or whatever. No, I'm preparing for this movie. Okay. So either way, I've got it down. First take, we're going through it. We are not going to do another take because of me. Adam Sandler's going to, and he's improvising the whole thing. And I'm like, dude, you're supposed to say this, this, and this.
I've been working on this for a while.
I was the boss on that set, but it was fun as hell to do, though. It really was.
That's really cool. Well, you got to call him for us, man. Give us
I'll call him, man. I'll give you his number.
Letter of recommendation. I don't know. Something.
All right. So how we like to finish this up, and you've obviously been a great sport, and we love chatting with you. And so, but we usually do a little rapid fire questions, just whatever pops in your head. Okay. We're gonna do a quick just to make things easy. I'm gonna hit the first one. What is your perfect golf foursome, other than myself and Sanchez?
Well, you two are at the top of the list for sure, but
obviously
that's a lie.
I mean, top of the list. I will say, let's see. I'm going to go with Tiger Woods, of course. All right.
Nice.
Then I'm going to go with like Paige Van Zandt and Heather Locklear. Myself.
There you go.
Good. I'm ready.
You're ready.
Yeah, who rides in whose cart? Or do you walk?
Well, I think Tiger's got his own cart, and I got the two young ladies. So there you go.
Nice. Okay. If you had to choose for the rest of your life, would you rather cold weather, East Coast, or warm weather, West Coast?
I'd go with the East Coast. I'm not no soft California dude.
Yeah. No way.
Like I'm going, man. No, I enjoy the season, so I'm going to go East Coast.
What a bunch of sissies out here.
Smart decision there, Coach. Smart decision. All right, if you were sitting at home watching TV, and this obviously has nothing to do with your recent experience on the Amazing Race, but are you watching a documentary or are you watching a reality TV show?
I'm going to watch a reality TV show. Can I tell you which one?
Please.
You guys already know Deadliest Catch.
Oh, that's
I'm
good.
a huge Deadliest Catch guys. And remember, the fans don't know this, but remember every year I would set up a joke. I would always talk about the Deadliest Catch. And then remember I had that snake that I'd always show the rookies or whatever. Remember? Remember, hey, this is the world's largest dead snake. And they show it as some huge anaconda. And all of a sudden, it jumps out at you. But we would always get the rookies on it every year. But Deadliest Catch is the show I would always watch. And new season generally comes out in the spring. That's the only crazy thing that I've never done.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we got to get you on there.
Yeah, I would think. Maybe a little too old to be a greenhorn, though. As soon as somebody would say, you got to be fast with the bait, I'm like, hey, hold boy, how about I stuff you in this thing? And then here, go ahead and send it down. See how many crabs you get with that, okay? Forget it. I'm going to take one of them little bitty guys. Like, nah, get out of here. I'm going to run. I'm throwing the dang thing. That's what I want to do. I'm going to throw the hook.
Last one. Your favorite snack. What is it, Coach?
There's so many out there, Mark. There's so many out there. Okay, I got it. All right, let me go another storytelling.
Yes.
All right. So we would always end on let's go get a snack, right? Sometimes be something else, but let's go get a snack. But for years, so I coached like almost 30 years, all right? And I would always go and you know how like you got tons of food. I don't know if fans know it, but they're a huge spread of anything you wanted. But everybody would go for the ice cream, right? So you got to get the ice cream with the hot fudge, on top of it, and a couple of cookies. I ain't thrown in there. So we're playing the Bengals after we smoked them 37-0 to get into the playoffs. We are at Cincinnati. We called it Cincinnati at the time. But anyway, we're at Cincinnati. And, man, I got the flu or something, but I'm in trouble. All right. So, like, I've been really struggling. And so they got IVs in me and everything else. All right. So we have our night meeting. Now I got to make a decision. And I'm like, man, every single game I've ever coached in, I have my night snack of my vanilla ice cream with the hot fudge. And they're like, Rex, you can't do that, dude. Like that's the worst thing you can do in your condition. I'm like, nah, gotta have it, dude. So sure enough, here we go. Woo! I barely made it to the room and paid the fiddler. But sometimes you gotta be uncomfortable, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And I certainly wasn't gonna lose the game to the Cincinnati Bengals, our first playoff game, because I wouldn't have my ice cream. So I made sure I had my ice cream. That's my go-to snack.
I love it. Thank you so much, Rex.
All right, guys, my pleasure.
WynnBet is bringing the excitement of Wynn Las Vegas to online sports betting and casino play. Get in on all your favorite teams, players, and sports. From boosted parlays to live in-game odds on every major sport, they have what you need to win. Jets fans in New Jersey, sign up today and use promo code XJETS. And after placing your first $100 wager, you will receive $100 to bet with. You will receive a $50 free bet and a $50 casino bonus. Again, the promo code is XJETS. Offer subject to change. Offer only available in New Jersey. Terms and conditions apply. You must be 21 or older to participate. Please visit WynnBet.com to view welcome offers available in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia.
All right, well, that was as electric as I could imagine here on The Exchange, presented by WynnBet with myself and Mark Sanchez. Mark, what did you think of that interview with old sexy Rexy?
This breath spray is really good. I'm really happy you sent this to me.
That's where you put it. Yep. The salmon.
No, what a great sport. Incredible stories. How about the coaching lineage? His dad, his brother, and now Seth.
I think it's pretty cool that Seth is getting into it. Especially from watching him running around here, as a high school kid, or it might even been before high school.
Junior high school. But watching his freshman football games in what was he? Somerville High School? Didn't he go there?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds about right. I don't know, but it was neat. I mean, that 2009 and 2010, there was some great runs. I feel like the one thing I missed on, and I'm going to put this in my notes afterwards next time I interview Rex, we need more Hard Knock stories. Because I feel like
but a lot of that was so documented,
But I feel like, so the thing with Hard Knocks, which I always enjoyed, was the idea that I watched it, and watching them film as much as they did, and the turnaround in 24 hours to take all this film and cut it down to the storylines. And so all of the stuff that ended up in the cutting room floor, I feel like you could have made 5 different Hard Knocks seasons out of that.
I would love to. Hard Knocks should come up with the archives deal, the outtakes and some of that stuff. I'm sure they'd have to get a ton of approval because there's probably a lot of stuff that you don't want to put out there. But there'd be some good ones, especially from that crew. And it was an ensemble cast. Now we had some characters.
That was an ensemble cast.
Incredible, from Bart to Jenkins to. Guys on the O-line, guys doing TV now like Damon Woody, Braylon, Tone, LaDainian Tomlinson, T-Rich. That was a good crew. Now
don't sell yourself short. It also kind of got me too, which I knew it, but I guess it didn't really hit home until I heard him talking about it. I think the pride that he takes in, having guys that he coached now coaching, when he talked about Jimmy Leonard and Jerry O'Connell up in Minnesota.
Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry
O'Connell's on the talk, dude.
No. Jerry, who I'm talking about, Kevin O'Connell. That, I think that's pretty cool. And you can kind of sense that pride that he has. And I think that was a big thing, as a player for Rex, was he took a lot of pride in his players, had all the faith in the world that, we would get the job done. I think ultimately we obviously didn't do that, but I still think he had that unwavering faith, which was pretty cool as a coach.
He's a loyal dude and special coach, and we got some great memories with him.
I'd like to, if he gets back into coaching, I think I'll be I will sign up for his offensive line coaching job.
You would join his staff, huh?
In a heartbeat. Are you kidding?
I mean, I've coached with them. It was awesome.
Yeah. You almost messed it up, which is classic quarterback.
Well.
The shots on you were
dude.
The shots on you were fantastic. I appreciated that. That was nice.
just catching straight. I told you that's why I wore the freaking camo, dude.
Yeah, safety first.
You can't see me. Whoa.
Bobbing and weaving. All right, so thank you guys for listening, watching. I had a blast. This was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to the season, and hopefully, Mark, you had the same.
Oh, this is awesome. Great kickstart to season 2. Get ready for more episodes. We got to get Adam Sandler. Got to get some other QBs, I feel like. QBs will help us out, but
all right,
we'll find one. So don't forget to rate, review, follow, and listen on the iHeartRadio app, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. This is The Exchange. We'll catch you next week.